welcome to the Soulful Badass podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Jackson, an intuitive success coach from the UK, and I'm here to help entrepreneurs, leaders, and soul-aligned goddesses to create epic levels of success and impact in your life and your business. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you are tuning in every week for mindset talk, manifestation, magic, and incredible interviews with other soul-aligned entrepreneurs. So hit the subscribe button, and I'd love to invite you to come and join the Soulful Badass community. All the links are in the show notes. Please go and click them, and I'll see you in there. Hi there. Welcome to this week's podcast episode. This week, I have exciting news. So on Thursday, the 10th of October, is the launch of Becoming Unstoppable, my new book. It is going to be available on Amazon. I will drop all the links in the show notes for you once it is available. So please make sure you get your hands on a copy of the book. It's available on Kindle and paperback for the time being, and soon to be available as an audiobook too. So watch out for that on Thursday. But for today's episode, I want to share a really important story which has been coming up so much for me with many of my clients. And it is around this idea of your life, your identity, and who you've become due to the stories and the things that you have been through in your life. Now, before I started this episode, I did pull a card from my Law of Positivism, I think, cards. It's a weird card deck, but I do love it. And the card says, I accept my life exactly as it is. And it's got this beautiful picture of a deer with crystals all around its horns and also butterflies flying off it. And what this is telling me, it is really linking to this idea that's been coming up from my clients, is that everything that happened in your life was exactly as it was meant to be. And it's a chance for you to really accept who you are, where you've come from, and maybe reflect on some of the stories that you've been saying. So I always say that the people who listen to this podcast, the people who are in my world, we're here because you have this big mission. And in order to have this big mission and to have it unfold, there's a level of connecting with something that's bigger than you. Now, in order to do that, you often have to be broken open in order to know that there needs to be something more. If we all had this blissful, really happy childhood and this easy life that just went from good to great all of the time and nothing ever went wrong, we would never have a reason to search for something else. We would never have a reason to find meaning in anything else. And we'd never have a reason to really stretch ourselves anywhere outside of that life, because we would just be content and happy with how things were going, and we would know no different. But the problem is, we're not like that. We haven't had those lives that have been easy and have been untraumatic and, have just felt like everything's been comfortable. We've had lives where we've been broken up and we've been shattered. We've been absolutely torn apart by lots of different things. And that was exactly what was meant to happen to you in this lifetime, because what it's done has created where you are now and where you're going to be going, most importantly. So it was never about it happening to you. The story does not end there. The story doesn't end with the trauma you've been through or the pain you went through or the past that you had to overcome. That was never your identity. That was never who you were. Who you were and your identity in this lifetime is about the survivor that you come off the back of it. It's about the person that takes all of that, finds a different path, connects with something bigger, and creates heaven on earth, rather than constantly looking back at what's happened in the past or what happened to you. Those people, those strong people, those people who need to have went through that trauma in order to break open and break free, those people, you in particular, is probably listening to this podcast right now, they're the people who are going to change the world. They're the heroes of the story. Those are the people that books are written about. Those are the people that are remembered throughout history or throughout generations, because those are the people who make a mark and change everything, because they felt the hurt, they felt the pain, they know what it feels like to be through that. And what that does is help you take your story, your journey, and go and help others in some other way. So if you're at this point where you're at this crossroads and you have this idea that you're there to help people or you're there to be something more, but you've still got this legacy of imposter syndrome, or who am I to do this because this happened in the past, or who am I to do this because I've been through this and that's, hurt me emotionally, or whatever it's done. That's your chance to start to review those stories that you've been telling yourself. Because who are you not to do this? We've got to make meaning of our past and give it a real purpose. Give it a real sense of that was what it was all for. What is the future that you're diving into? What is this next chapter that you're diving into? And who is it you're meant to be? You're actually meant to bring all that strength, bring all that resilience into something that you are now creating going forward. And if you're feeling like you're looking back or feeling everything happened to you, or you might be in that place at the moment, it's starting to shift that story of everything happened for you. Now, what is it ready to release? What's that new identity? What's that new power, that new resilience, that new energy that wants to come through you? Because where you are now is not the whole story. Where you are now is a chapter in time. You could be at the beginning of your hero's journey. You could be at the beginning of your absolute success story. You could be at the beginning of this next level of epic level success. It doesn't matter which part you're at, whether you're at the beginning, you're in the middle, but you are definitely not at the end. There is so much more to come. There is so much more of this story to be told. So if you're struggling with where you're at the moment and you're struggling thinking, are things going to get better? Of course they're going to get better. The only way is to get better. Nothing's ever going to go backwards because you've already felt that pain. You've already got the resilience. You've already learned how to navigate those situations. You don't need to go back and learn those lessons. Now it's how do you take all that and move it forward? So this is really about accepting your past, accepting what it's brought you, but also looking at it through the lens of what did it give you? What strength, what gifts, what mindset, what courage, what bravery, what did it give you? Because it will have given you so much. And now how do you use that to go, I've overcome so much. So what can I bring to my future? What is going to stop me now when I've already been through all of that? There's absolutely nothing stopping you other than the story you tell yourself in your mind, the identity you give yourself. And the identity is made up, and you can change that. You can change that by going, I wasn't a victim in my past, I'm a survivor of my past. That didn't happen to me, it happened for me. That's going to be the thing that I'll write in my book one day. That's going to be the thing that I'll be telling people on a stage one day, because that's going to be the thing that people are going to need to hear that they can get through it just like I did and have the most success that you've ever had. So please do not fear the fact that you've been through so much and you look at other people and think, well, they haven't had to deal with that. Take it as a badge of honor, wear it with pride. Know that you are here to help people because of the story that you've been through. But wherever you are at the moment, it is not the end. It is not the end of your story. It is only the beginning. It is only the beginning of this next chapter. And you get to write the next chapter. You get to write exactly what your future looks like. But you do it by the lens that you're looking through. So are you a survivor of your past, or are you a thriver of your past, or are you a victim of your past? I want to be the thriver. I want to be the one that takes all of that and does something good with it and shares it with the world. And you too are doing that same thing. So please give yourself credit. You are never behind. You are never late. You are never running out of time. You are at the perfect place to hear exactly what you need and to move forward with pride. So this is all about this next chapter. It's all about accepting where you are and knowing that you are on the start of something great. You have so much to offer this world, and especially if you've been through a lot in your past. So please honor your story. Honor the fact that it didn't make you weak, it made you strong. Honor the fact that it's allowed you to feel. Most people do not feel in this lifetime. They go through life in an emotional range, which is very minimal. They don't stretch up high and they don't stretch up low. If you've managed to feel the low feelings, what that means is you can stretch into the high. You've expanded that emotional range and you're going to feel so much better going forward in the future. So don't underestimate the value of feeling all your feelings. You have been dealt those cards. You have been put through the ringer. You have been through all of it so that you could expand, so that you could grow, so that you could take these lessons. It was never about breaking you down, making you feel unconfident, making you feel less than. It was always so that you could discover that you were more than, that you were more than capable. You were more than willing to move through challenges and survive. So please start to look through a different lens. Start to look at your current situation, not as being stuck, but as at the start. Look at your past as it didn't happen to you, but it happened for you. Start to change the lens that you view life, both future focused and past, and you will change everything. You will change the whole way you look at your own identity. You will start to see how powerful you are and how much you've got in your tanks, in your reserves to take forward. There is absolutely nothing can stop you other than your own mindset. So whoever needed to hear this one, please come and join me in the Soulful Badass Telegram group and let me know, because this is such a powerful change. You are exactly where you're meant to be for this next chapter in your life. You've been through exactly what you needed to go through. You've learned the lessons you needed. You've got everything you need to succeed. And you are exactly the person who was meant to. So please do not feel bad if you have had a tough past. Do not feel bad if you've been through trauma. Do not feel bad if you're even talking down to yourself or you're not in the space of feeling 100% confident yet. Because you will start. It will start to change. You'll start to see how much you can survive. You'll start to see how much you, as a person, are so powerful in your own right. So get excited about this next chapter. Get excited about what you can bring to the world, what you can offer, because you're meant to be listening to this today. You're meant to be hearing this story, and it's meant to be sparking something deep inside your soul. And if you know that and you're feeling that, then just let it build and know that this message was for you. It was 100% for you. And I cannot wait for our paths to cross and hear what your story is and how much you have to share with the world. Because your voice is powerful. And the more you understand that, the more you realize that, the more you realize you're here to help others, you're here to shine a light, the brighter your future will be. And I feel today's episode is for those people who are at this crossroads, maybe looking back at the past, but looking at the future, looking like, who am I to do this? Bit of imposter syndrome coming in, a bit of being afraid to shine, being afraid to break away from old things, old people. This one's for you, because you're at that point where it's time now to accept and move on. And you've got this. So whoever needed that message today, please gather that courage inside and know that you were born to help so many people. And your past was part of that. So just accept it. Take all the good bits, all the learning, all the courage, all the emotions, take it with you and turn it into something golden, because that's what you've got inside. So don't know who needed that one today, but it was a powerful message that come through. So please just absorb it, listen to it again, take any guidance that you need from it, and come and catch me on the social medias, and I will speak to you soon. But make sure you grab a copy of Becoming Unstoppable when it's available on Thursday. Catch you soon. Bye.